Don't choke before you get to the final, Oliver. Congratulations. What's the atmosphere like in the dressing room?
Yeah, thanks for the congratulations. And yeah, electric, I would say. Yeah. Fantastic atmosphere. Great night here at Selhurst, great European night. And of course, with the right result and yeah, huge achievement, huge congratulations and credit to the players. Because I think everybody could see how good Shakhtar is. But the commitment today, the effort, the disciplined work was, I would say, exceptional. And always believing that we'll create chances, that we will score goals. And maybe, so for me, the second goal was maybe if somebody needed the last evidence about the character of this group, because I think, and I complained to the fourth official that the referee should whistle a foul, because I think Jeremy Pino was fouled, continued playing. Daichi Kamada was fouled, continued playing. Tim Mitchell was fouled, continued playing. And at the end, we all got the reward with Ismaïla Sarr's toenail and scoring a goal. So, yeah, huge performance and huge European night.
Given some of the difficulties that you've experienced this season, how proud are you tonight out of 10? If you gave you a mark out of 10 for the amount of pride you feel?
10, definitely. And I told the players today, before the game, but regardless the result, because we showed them 3 clips from the first leg, mentality clips, how this team is working, how they are. There was a clip they defended a ball, like we could see many of them today, and all the 3 centre backs and Dean Henderson were jumping chest to chest and celebrating each other, and this makes me proud. Yeah, if we have this spirit, if we have this commitment, if we support each other, and then it's football. Yeah, you will find many mistakes today on both sides, but always being here for each other, and then also together with our fans. This makes me proud, and this makes me proud of being part of this journey.
You might not want a statue, Oliver, but you're probably going to get one.
Yeah, hopefully I don't have to build it, because I don't know if you say the same in English. I have 2 left hands.
Yeah.
Is that the same? Yeah. Then I have 3.
Is it justice, just finally from me, that you've reached a final after what happened in the summer? And in a way, has it worked out better for Crystal Palace that you did play in this competition?
I don't know. My approach to life is that, let's say, everything is for a reason, yeah, and then it's how you deal with it, yeah. And we said because we couldn't affect it, and it went through the whole summer. Do we play Europa League? Do we play no European competition, or do we play Conference League? And then it was Conference League, and really from the first day, we said, okay, we accept the final verdict. And now we start, of course, to win the Conference League, because we always start any competition to win it. And on the second, and before every single game, I've mentioned to the players, before everything, it was the 16th Conference League game, I said, please never forget, this is the reward for last year's achievement, for winning the FA Cup. And this is, if you get the reward, usually you enjoy it, and you're feeling happiness. Yeah? And I want that you enter the pitch with this being proud and with this happiness, because it's the reward. Yeah? And I think this is really what the players felt the whole time. And yeah, now we have all the next reward, playing the 17th game, a big final in Leipzig.
Okay, Tom. Yeah. Yeah.
Oliver, most managers have to stay attentive to the match for the whole time, but when there was 1 minute of added on time, you were applauding throughout that minute as the fans were chanting and cheering. How nice was that for you to be able to enjoy the moment even just before the game had ended, because you knew you'd reach the final?
Oh yes, these are maybe the best moments. I remember the FA Cup final was completely different, because it was 10 minutes extra time, and I just hoped, please, City don't score because we have no chance to survive the extra time. And today, of course, it was then clear 1 minute. We won't concede 3 more goals. And yes, this was enjoying. And I told the players afterwards when we all walked through the stadium, for me, this is I call it the emotional reward. Yeah, and I think I mentioned it after the FA Cup. These moments you can't buy. These moments you have to deserve. And I think everybody, every single player, everyone from of the staff deserve this moment. Yeah, and this is a feeling then you have when you have this last minute when you walk the round in the stadium on the pitch. This is it's a feeling. It's really. I think that's why we all love football.
Even though this is Crystal Palace's first ever season in major European competition, I think it's fair to say people have been describing you guys as the favourites right from the beginning when you started that. How proud are you that you've been able to come through and you've not disappointed with that tag, you've kind of embraced it?
I think we took our lessons from every single game, from the qualification against Fredrikstad, through this group stage, and then now in every single knockout stage. And this is how we entered our first European season together, yeah? That we want to learn, and we had a lot of rotation in autumn in the group stage due to the schedule, due to injuries, and we always looked to learn from it. And then, of course, when you enter the knockout stages, then we felt, pressure against Mostar. I think we could see it. We didn't play being so free. The same against Larnaca. Yeah, when you play a team that has just conceded 1 goal in 6 legs at home, you don't score. We felt the pressure, but all these experiences helped us to deal with the next situation, with the next game, with the next knockout stage. And I think today, I don't know how you saw it, but I didn't feel that any player was nervous. Everybody stick to the plan. We played our game. We trusted in ourselves. And whereas I could feel at the beginning, maybe we didn't have this trust, this confidence. It's new. We didn't know how it goes. Yeah? The oppositions adjusted more to our game than they are doing it in the Conference League. It were different challenges we had to overcome, but overall, we did it. Especially the players did it, and they deserve huge credit for this.
Okay, gentlemen.
Hi, Mr. Glasner. Congratulations. And I thought that Daichi Kamada, I thought he was quietly excellent tonight. And from your point of view, how do you think he has evolved or improved compared to 4 years ago when you won the European title with him at Frankfurt?
No, he was very good at Frankfurt as well. And Daichi loves these big games. I know him. And I think in both games against Shakhtar, our 2 sixes with Daichi Kamada and Adam Wharton were incredible. So, Daichi is a player, we always can rely on him. He had a few tough weeks when he had this serious injury, but he came back, I think, 4 or 5 weeks earlier than everybody expected. So he wanted to be back 2 weeks, even 2 weeks earlier, but we said, hey, tranquillo. He's a great player. Sorry.
Hi, Oliver. First of all, on behalf of all Shakhtar fans, congratulations on getting to the final and the very best of luck. I'm sure you'll win it. My question for you is, you've played Shakhtar over 2 games, you've studied them very well, so you know them as a team. It's a very young side, and do you think this team has enough quality to be successful in the Champions League next year, or do you think the team is perhaps a bit too young, and they need to get more experience before performing well against top sides in Europe?
Do they qualify straight in for the Champions League, or do they have to play qualification?
It depends. If Olympiacos and Rangers don't win the league, then Shakhtar play directly in the league phase.
I think it's a fantastic team individually, and also well coached from Arda Turan, so very huge credit to him. And they also he had a very good plan today. He added 1 more player, so he tried to create an overload with 6 against our back 5 sometimes, making always the runs and then switching to the wide player. where we were a little bit struggling at the beginning, but I think then we had also a good adjustment. We were a little bit surprised. Sometimes they even had 7 players in their attack, but we knew if they take so much risk, this will give us a lot of space for our transitions, and we have just to wait for it. But overall, I think it's a fantastic team. Yes, but I think, like when I said, we learned our lessons from every single game. I'm pretty sure that Shakhtar Donetsk, every single player and the team learned from this European experience. Also, they played many games and against teams from different countries, and they did so well, and this will help them. And of course, I wish them all the best for the Champions League. But yeah, it is, Champions League is the highest competition you can play in European football, and the challenges are very high. So they will face, let's say, many more Crystal Palaces and even better teams, because we are not in the Champions League positions in the Premier League, but they deserve it, and I wish them all the best.
Thank you so much, and good luck in Leipzig.
Thank you.
Right, last one from Nick before we continue.
Oliver, you spoke yesterday about how you've been telling your players to believe that they are successful and they can use the success they've already had to succeed again. Do you think that they've all got it now?
Not just now. I think spoke about it with them. For me, it's when you have already shown something, you know that you can do it again. Yeah? And of course, in the Premier League, it's the same. We always playing very good teams, yeah, and maybe also very good individual teams with good dribblers like we faced today, yeah, and we have to be competitive, and we showed it. Yeah, so in many games, in many big games, this is also the players have now the confidence and that they can win big games. Yeah, we talked about it. Yeah? When you can win away at Fulham, when you can beat Villa at Wembley and beat City at Wembley and Liverpool at Wembley, then you know you can do it. Yeah. And this is I'm just reminding them a few times if I feel they have a little bit lack of confidence, because this team, these players tend to be a little bit or playing with less confidence than to being arrogant. Yeah? And then I always try to give them some points where they can get confidence, and this, I think, because for me it's the most important part in football, in life. Yeah? If you want to achieve big things, you need confidence, you need trust in yourself, you need trust in your team, in your organization, in your company. Call it however you want, but it's you can't be successful if you don't believe in yourself and in your teammates. Yeah? And this is what they are doing, and they are supporting each other. And if somebody is struggling, then they push him to the edge.
Okay, this is the last one here, please.
Hi, Oliver. Congrats. In hindsight, obviously last year was quite a big disappointment when you were demoted to the Conference League. But in hindsight, has it been a good thing, like that, yeah, with this whole route, this whole journey?
You never know. Yeah? For me, there are some decisions, if you can't affect them, if you have no influence on them, you have to accept it. Yeah? Otherwise, you lose the focus, and this is what we did. And again, I had, in my career, I had many tough moments in my career as a player and as a manager. And for example, when I managed Wolfsburg, it was then COVID. We had just one qualification game, and we lost against AEK Athens away, 2-1, conceding the goal in the 94th minute. And we didn't qualify for the group stage. For VfL Wolfsburg in Germany, we were all massively disappointed, massively. Yeah. And then it was the same. Okay, after disappointment, I don't know how you say. You in Germany, you say, how you say it when you roll up the sleeves and said, okay, now let's say the advantage is we have time to train. Yeah, and now we will train and work hard to play a fantastic season. And then we became fourth and qualified for the Champions League. Yeah, and I always think maybe the reason for the Champions League was losing in the Europa League. Yeah, so always trying to see the glass half full compared to half empty, because it makes more sense and it makes more fun.
Okay, that's the end.